morning, everybody. I'm pleased to come back to you again, and I hope that you are doing well and keep safe, keep at home. We want to see you again, inshallah, in the future to come back to our normal life. Today we will talk about chapter 2, which deal with culture. What is culture? Culture, usually, we know the word culture in Arabic means ثقافة. This means that ثقافة, the societal culture, is the education of people, books, and all other materials that reflect that these are educated people and they can understand everything and other things. The word culture here, we don't mean the literature or the education of people. We mean by culture the learned norms that contains the values, the attitudes and beliefs of a group of people or a certain society. So we consider culture here as an integral part of the nation, of any nation and any society wherever they are in the global environment. So you have learned in the organizational behavior course organizational culture. You remember that. Organizational culture will reflect the values that are shared between the organization members, and they deal in doing the business in a certain way, which reflects their cooperation, for instance, their teamwork, their understanding of each other's and other criteria, which means that it reflects a good culture of the organization in a certain way that people, they are satisfied in their work. The other meaning for culture here, we are talking about national cultures. We are talking about the culture of nations, the cultures of societies, which is a broader meaning for the word culture in the organizational sense. So we have organizational culture, which sometimes will reflect the culture of the society that the organization is operating in. So when we talk in international business about culture, we should make sure that once the organization will cross its borders, this means that it is leaving its country to another society because they are entering another country. So they should make sure that they should understand this culture of the other society or the new society to them will reflect different values, different attitudes, different beliefs, and different behaviors of the society and the people in this society. So, because of this fact, all international business, they are required to understand and to respect these values of the other people that they will be dealing with in a certain manner and for a long period of time. Okay, just to make it easier for you, I have set this model from somebody, from a scholar. His name is Hofstede, as you see at the top of the slide, that it is being shown as if we are talking about slice of onion. When you peel an onion, you will see that it contains different layers. So we can see only the outer layer of the onion, right? We cannot see the inner layer of the onion, which is the core of the onion. Here, we talked about values of the society. When we go and meet other peoples from other societies and other cultures and other places, we don't see the values of those people. What we see in reality, we see their behavior, but we don't see that this behavior is a reflection of the values of this society. Here, in the pink color, you can see that the values, they are residing there. The values, they reflect certain things which we call rituals, heroes, and symbols, which usually the people in this society, they share together and they understand the meaning of those practices. This is the meaning of practice, which is a reflection of the values and it will take us to the outer layer, which people will show to others in certain behaviors. So, why culture is important to international business? Because companies, when they want to operate in other countries and in other societies, they need to be successful. They need to make profit. They need that this society will accept them. So, to do so, they should adapt and they should adjust their behaviors according to the society that they are dealing with. So, considering this culture or this society is diverse and it's different from them, this means that we need to build our competitive advantage globally. So, being globally competitive, this means that we should be careful in bringing in diverse people from diverse societies to work together in a certain manner which will not create conflict among these peoples. For instance, an American company will come to work in Jordan. The people or the employees who will work in this American company, first they will be expatriates from America, from the US, in addition to other employees from Jordan. Moreover, they can hire and bring other people from third country. Why not bringing a British, for instance, a British employee, and so on. So we have diversity in this organization, bringing in people from different backgrounds, from different societies, from different national orientation. Okay, sometimes if the company is not careful, what will happen? People will collide with each other, which we call cultural collision, because the company sometimes they implement certain practices, which I have shown you in our layer of onion, in a certain way that will show that they are biased towards certain people, and they don't take into consideration the diversity of people inside the organization. So they will face difficulty in accepting and adjusting to the new city, to the new environment, to the new country, and to the new foreign behaviors in the country that they are operating in. This will lead us to something which is called cultural awareness. Be aware of other people. You should accept people as they are. Don't try to change them. Why? Because culture usually will develop through a long period of time, and you cannot change people suddenly and to impose on them certain values which is strange to them. So this might hinder the cultural awareness of the cultural awareness of the managers in the international level. Okay, sometimes the managers, international managers, they might react to certain circumstances or situations subconsciously or unintentionally. They might react without knowing that their reaction to certain circumstances might create collision, might create misunderstanding. Moreover, some managers in the international business, they might consider that they might not consider the subgroups inside the culture, and they might also consider that all people, they are the same. This is wrong. People, they are not the same. People, they are different. So, managers need to educate themselves about other cultures, about different values, about different orientation in order to succeed abroad. Moreover, the companies themselves, the organizations themselves, before sending their managers to work abroad, usually they orient them with other people behaviors, with other people values, and more than that, they might teach them the language of the society where they will be working in. This will lead us to something called the nation state. What do you mean by nation state? This means that each country, it has certain elements which they call it, this is our society, this is our nation, and we ascribe to certain criteria which we agree on these criteria. So the nation is a useful definition for the society, because people, they are similar, and people, they are homogeneous in this society. But when the international company cross its borders, this means that I will be facing my nation state, it's well known to me, but other nation states, they are vague to me. So I need to understand them in order for me to know the national boundaries in these countries. What things apply in international business? Managers in international business, they should know that laws apply in every country according to the laws that are being set in this country. Moreover, the other country, they have a different language. They speak, for instance, in the US, they speak English. In Europe, they speak a lot of languages. They speak English, they speak French, they speak German, and so on. When they come to work in the Arab countries, they know that these people, they speak Arabic. So they know that these people, in addition to their language, they might know French, they might know German, they might know English, but our main language is different from us. Moreover, they have other values which is different because of certain criteria, which we should know about these criteria, what constitutes the values of this nation or of this society. Moreover, these people, they share certain things. For instance, their ceremonies, their rites, their symbols, they have different rallies, they have different things to show me, because they have an identity which is different, which they built all through their life, and which they came out with an idea that they are Arabs, they are English, they are French, they are German, and so on. So we can ascribe or describe each society according to its values, according to its language, according to its societal orientation. Okay, culture and nation state. Why culture to each nation state is very important. If we take culture, we should understand the meaning of culture globally, and we should accept that we have diversity of cultures all over the world. We need sometimes to study country by country in order to differentiate the values of each country and each society in a certain manner. Sometimes it is difficult to say that the Arab world, they are all the same, or this region, they are all the same. Why? Because it's difficult, because we should consider the subcultures that exist in this nation state. Subcultures, for instance, as an example, in the Arab world, for instance, we have different cultures. We have Armenian people, we have Caucasus, we have with other languages, but they are living with the Arab people. So considering this subcultures is a must for each company to understand that there are certain melting pot in other societies and in other regions. Moreover, similarities bring people together. If we are the Arab nation, for instance, we are all similar. We speak Arabic language. We are all we live in the same region or in the same geographic area in Western Asia and Northern Africa. So why this is important for international managers? These international managers, they should focus on these indigenous groups, and they should differentiate between these subcultures in certain countries. For instance, we should know what is the difference between people in rural areas and people in urban areas, for instance. What is the difference between the values of young people and older people, and so on. Or men and women, for instance. They have something to describe themselves which is different from the other group. Okay. You might ask, how culture form and change? Can culture be changed if we understand how culture will form? Usually culture forms for a long period of time. When we talk about national culture, this means that it passes from one generation to the next. Usually we accept things which we inherit from our fathers and our ancestors. So what is acceptable in this country is based on certain criteria, because This is something which we took from our families, and we respect these values, and it's very difficult to give up these values, especially when foreign power might come and say, I will teach you our values, which is superior than your values, which we call cultural imperialism. You know, imperialism is a certain phase of history which most of the Arab countries, they were under imperial power for a certain period of time. Imperialism in culture is very dangerous because imposing the language of this superpower who came to your country to rule this society, this means that they will start forgetting their own language. But contact with other cultures, this means that if we get in touch with people from other cultures, we will know them better and we will respect them in a better way. This is called creolization. Creolization is the process which Creole culture emerged in the New World. As a result of colonialization, as we said, there was a mixture of indigenous American in America, you know, the Red Indians, or the people who were residing in the U.S. before immigrants, they went to America, West Africa, and European descent, which came to be known as creolization. So this is the term for those people from indigenous people who used to reside in a certain place, but imperialism came and they did not give them their rights. Okay, so can culture change? Yes, but it takes a long time to change the culture. You need generations and generations to change the culture of people. And usually people, they are very proud of their own culture and their own value, which makes them resist any power that might enforce on them that they should change and follow others people's values and others people's terms of reference. So I will stop till here because I need to hear from you, your questions and your reactions to what I have raised from these points. Next week, inshallah, we will come to language, and we will talk about religion and the other aspects of culture, which will give us a better time to change ideas about the subject. When you open the slides, I advise you to go to view at the top of the presentation. Go to outline view here, and you will see that the explanation is set in a better way to your left. Moreover, at the footnote. So any explanation, more knowledge, you can get it from here as well as from here, from the bottom and from the left to the slides. When you want to go back, you go to the normal view and then you come back to the slide as it is here. So see you next week, inshallah. Keep safe. Inshallah ya Rabbi, things will be okay for everybody. Assalamu alaikum.